All right, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Just Noise podcast. As always, I am joined with my partner in crime, Logan Purdue. Logan, how we doing tonight?
Doing good. How are you?
I can't complain. It's getting kind of chilly out there, but I love it. I'm ready for some
Right.
Thanksgiving, ready for some
I'm
turkey in my
I'm ready
belly.
for summer to go away.
Oh,
The
yeah,
heat.
that too. Winter is coming. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, just to get right into it, we are joined with dude, if you're thinking about Thall in any capacity here in the recent years, this is our buddy right here, man. He's the guy. So welcome Elliot, from Catsclaw, our common collapse. He's something else. Elliot, how you doing tonight, bud?
Dude, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure, to be honest with you, to get to pick your brain about everything. So if you just want to oblige us, start from the very beginning, my friend, to let us know how it all began for you, where you decided music was for you, whether it was just an initial band that inspired you or however you want to start it.
Cool. Yeah. Wow, it's fun to come back to all this. But for me, I started playing guitar. It kind of started around there, I would say. I started playing guitar around like 13, 14. And I think the reason I started moving into that was because I just wanted to do something different. Like, I don't know. I felt like where I grew up, everyone felt very cookie cutter in a way, and like I don't know, there's all these clicks and kind of blend into all this thing, and I guess I didn't necessarily do it because I wanted to stand out like, hey, look at me. I just wanted to do something different, and I really loved music and um wanted to learn it. I wanted to write songs and I don't know, do crazy shred licks, and do all sorts of stuff. So, my mom bought me my first guitar. I actually still have it. Um, it's right next to me right here, which is cool. I'm happy I still have that. Um, and just started learning. Like Avenged Sevenfold was a big one for me. Um, like I just immediately started learning Avenged Sevenfold songs, Slipknot. And from there it just got heavier, heavier, more technical. Um, And eventually it went from me wanting to be a shredder more into like a songwriter, producer. So I got really into the audio end. And like within the same year of learning guitar, I started doing audio production and just learning, plugins, learning Reaper. I've been using Reaper ever since, and just like wanting to perfect the craft of how can I make my songs as cool as possible. How can I refine these ideas that I have in my head, um, and execute them, Because I constantly have ideas on what I want to do with songs and um, that's just like been the thing for me is how do I develop that and, you know, get to that place, And I'm still working at it, but I feel like the last couple years, um, I've been nailing what I've been wanting to do. And it's like super satisfying. That'll probably change with time, but yeah, that's a long-winded answer, but yeah.
No, that's awesome. Actually, I would agree that, dude, you're killing it, and we'll talk about that more and more. But it's really cool to hear that at such a young age, you had already enveloped your journey into engineering. Because by the time that first recorded that I can find for you, the Necro being 2017, dude, you were 17 years old, 16, 17.
Yeah.
The production was already phenomenal, and the composition, every aspect of it was super satisfying. So
Yeah.
Sick.
hats off to you, my friend. You're very special, for being a very young
Thank you.
guy. You create a lot of different soundscapes. That's just the best way to say it. Is everything that you're a part of, it's very different and unique, and you continue to strive to improve yourself in everything that you're a part of. I can tell, even if it's just your own music or other stuff that you're a part of. Can you give us a little bit background on the Necro?
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't talked about that. There's like when people talk about the Necro, it's always so funny to me. It's like it's kind of one of those things with me. It's like if you know, you know. Like I don't even know if some of my bandmates know about that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's like a
That's
funny
cool.
thing there. But yeah, I with that project, that was like my first thing I really wanted to do with like music production, writing songs, and I was a big fan of like bands like Behemoth and just like black metal and death metal bands and I mean though obviously and like Thy Is Murder at the time too. So I there's a lot of like blackened and like symphonic elements in that stuff and just like overall super goofy parts and there's just yeah, that project is me like kind of just doing whatever I wanted to, no limits and just mixing it and having fun. And I still have an album. I have to find it. It's on my laptop, but I still have that album that I never released, and it has all the songs. I think there's like 15 songs, and I may just release it anyways for fun, because why not, you know? Uh, And yeah, I was just doing that project with uh, our OG, our Common Collapse vocalist, and then my other friend who lived down the street from me, and he would just do vocals on top of these really weird instrumentals and whatnot, and I would, refine my uh production techniques with each song I would do and mix and try something different. So yeah, that's like the really early start of me doing that, you know. And I still have all those demos on my computer. Like I'm a big proponent of never deleting the music you have because you never know when you need an idea or something, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of the start of that.
we really enjoyed the three singles that are available on YouTube. To be honest, it was very impressive for a first foray, and not only to like your first official release that you're doing, but your first official release that you mixed and mastered, and you did all the production, everything. We really enjoyed all three of those singles.
I really like Through the Plains of Madness. Yeah,
Yep.
I like the little middle part where I don't know when the everything cuts out. It grabbed the first time. I was like, wait, is this happening? And then it did. And then when everything kicks back in, it was really tight.
Yeah, the horns and everything like that, the
Yeah,
Hmm.
goofy. Yeah, I was a big fan of prog stuff at the time too, and I think that was like uh me trying to get that like prog out of me, you know, like almost like goofy like BT Bam stuff, and I was super into like classical music at the time too. Um and like jazz. I was playing in like jazz bands and stuff in like high school. And so I was just trying to like genre bend and like be as ridiculous as possible with it and um
I think
it's
you
very
pulled it
like
off great.
yeah, it's very tongue in cheek, you know, but
Yeah,
it's cool.
You
yeah.
had some really cool parts. I can't remember what song it was specifically of the three, but the guitar was being followed by tuba, I believe it was. Like it was playing all the low notes with it consistently. That
Yeah.
part escapes me in terms of my notes here, but that one was really cool. And in Sunday, you had a crazy, ridiculous guitar solo. It kind of caught me off guard, to be honest with you, because like you were saying when you started, you started off wanting to shred faces and stuff like that, and then you kind of more focused on composition wise, and it kind of blew me away. I was like, dude, this is nuts to think that you had done all of that, and then you just went off the rails. So
Well, I will add to that. That's actually not me playing the guitar solo. That's the guitar player. That's the guitar player of Lorna Shore, actually, at the time. Uh, so I have to give him the credit there,
okay, that's
um,
cool.
but that yeah, that's I appreciate that. That song I think is really cool. I've always thought about taking that song um in some way and like maybe bringing it back somehow
Hmm.
with one of my bands now in a weird way. So I'm not sure.
There's always time, my friend. Um, so moving forward a little bit from the Necro, let's talk about the origins of our common collapse. I know that you said that it originally started out as a high school band. Can you tell us a little bit about how it began and moving into old speak a little bit?
Yeah. So yeah, I'll start with like kind of the necro stuff into that.
Okay.
I wrote all the Necro stuff in like 2015, um, and then started releasing it 2017. And then my group of friends, like the OG lineup, we wanted to start a band and we wanted to play our school talent show. We just wanted to play like a deathcore song at our talent show, like an original one, and write the music that we wanted to. Um, so we wrote one song for the talent show, played it, played in front of the school. So cool at the time. Thought we were the sickest. Uh, and it was like a really fun performance. I'm sure it's out there. Uh, I don't
Is it
want to
we?
watch that video.
What's it called? Or We Are the Dead?
Something like that. It may
Yep.
be out there. Um, I won't watch that video. But you guys can. But yeah, that's like the first iteration of that. Um, and then we wanted to do like a first release, as a band. Um, so we wrote, I believe it was 5 or 6 songs, just drawing from our influences. We at the time we very much so wore that on our sleeves. Um, which is cool. Like I like that with every first release. I mix and mastered it. I did it, I think I mixed and mastered it in one night. And we put it for like we sent it to CD, like uploaded the files for CD printing, I think in the same day. So we just wanted to do one thing and print CDs and have them for like our first show, and everything. And the mix is pretty insane on it. I know we talked about I don't have those files anymore. Maybe I do. I couldn't find them at the time, but like that mix is just so ridiculous sounding and cool in a weird way, but that release is kind of it's just very immature. Like after a while, we just weren't super proud of that as a
Hmm.
release and felt like it was holding us back from other opportunities and like people taking us seriously, um, which was like a big thing for us. Like we just want to be taken seriously as a band because we were so serious about it and obviously having fun. But that's kind of the reason why we ultimately like pulled it at the end. And you could probably find it somewhere. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the synopsis of that cycle.
No, I totally get, wanting to shed some skin and move apart from past material, especially if you feel like it doesn't represent what you've got going on in the future. Um, Side question. So, were there CDs for Old Speak?
There's CDs out there.
Oh,
Um,
ho, ho. Okay. Anybody
yeah,
out there in Wisconsin land, let me know. I want one. But that's anyway.
there's definitely people. Yep.
Cool. Um, so anyway, moving forward in the history of our common collapse from there, uh, I got to be completely honest with you. When I met you and played with you guys for the first time, I hadn't listened to maybe other than one song, and you guys absolutely blew me away. Not only just me, but like you blew the Emblem faction away. Like you guys were phenomenal. You guys were, I think, majority of you were 19, and you guys showed up for the show. And like Logan and I were talking about earlier,
Yeah,
the
I remember
bartender,
that
it was
night.
her first night. She didn't know how things go at the Fremont, and she was trying to kick all you guys out. My fiance didn't have her ID, and she was of age, and she was scared she was going to get kicked out the whole time. And anyway, nonetheless, the night happened, and you guys just blew everybody away at this tiny hole in the wall bar with maybe just the crappiest, mixer from the 80s. And you
Yeah,
guys
I
were
remember that.
19 years old, dude. That's when it was like, oh my God, these guys are going to kill it. And you still are. So I just want to say, No Longer Human or Known is still to this day one of my favorite EPs of all time.
Yeah,
Awesome.
same.
So yeah,
That's
sorry
awesome.
I'm gushing a little bit here. If you got any choice nuggets from that time, we definitely would love to explore that release with you. So
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I love that release. That's like a huge one for me. Um, yeah, pretty much everything with that release was uh we wanted to do everything better from Old Speak. Like we wanted to do everything just we wanted the songs to be more ridiculous, we wanted to be more heavy. Um, we wanted to be obviously more like Thall. Um, we just wanted to combine like our deathcore bands that we loved, um, and just like the most ridiculous breakdowns with just crazy riffs and um, kind of release something that would, maybe, be pretty cool, And I feel like that record is really cool. It definitely sounds a little immature at times, but even then I listen to it and it's still cool to me and I don't know, I really enjoy that. With that record, um it was pretty much all recorded in my college dorm, um with our vocalists at the time. We would record in the dorm room and vocals, and uh I would record the guitars, and then the next day we'd work on vocals and try to record. Um and we would have people banging on our door
That's what I was gonna
because
say. Yeah.
our vocalist Devin was so loud, like unbelievably loud. I guess high screams were just insane, um like to the point where I would be like looping a section and going to the door, looking through the like eye hole, making sure there's like nobody there or something, and I would be like go, and then record the take, and just like we would try to figure out ways to like we would take all of our bedding and put it in front of the door
Hmm.
and close our like college closets and put it in front of the door so this it would soundproof it more. And maybe it worked a little bit, but like we just went to extreme measures to try to record that record in college at the time and get it done for a summer tour, release and try to fit that time frame. And we weren't rushing it, but we were just, we wanted to meet that time frame. We set
Hmm.
that goal. Um, we had two new members at the time too. Um, so that was really fun, and they've become like some of my greatest friends too. So yeah, that record was just yeah, that EP is just super fun time. Yeah, it's cool. I'm really proud of that release.
Do you have any favorite moments in terms of on the release? Like any songs that stand out to you that are your favorite, or breakdowns or anything?
I really like the last track, the title track. Um, I'm a big like Death Heaven fan and like of like atmospheric
Hmm.
music and stuff. Um, so I really wanted to do like a more like blast beaty atmospheric kind of track. Um, so there's this part. It's like the bridge into the last chorus in that song, and it's just this ambient pad, which is just like a guitar, through like my line six pod at the time. So it's this crazy pad, and it's just like this ambient break, and every time I hear it, it gives me the chills. I'm like, I hope I can recreate that part in future music somehow, um, and just do something along those lines. I'm not like want to repeat myself, but I just love that part and hope to capture something like that in the future. But you only really know once you release something.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'd
Lo-
say that.
Logan, did you have any moments on the CP that you really enjoyed?
I love all of it. I still listen to it in my constant rotation, to be
Hmm.
honest
Sick.
with you. Um,
Awesome.
Convulsions and Convulsions is my favorite track. I think it's one of the most badass like EP opening tracks like ever.
Sick.
Like I think it's one of my favorites.
The guitar tone
And
is really mean in that beginning of that one too, and then when you
yeah,
guys go into that like tempo change, like slam part, that like
Yeah.
that's on my list too. I really enjoy that part.
Yeah,
mhm.
we love that part.
when
We
the
wrote that.
when the vocal comes in, I'm sorry. When the vocal comes in right away, or like not right away, but when everything
Mm,
kind of pauses and he like pulls everything back in, like I think that part's so powerful in that song. It's
yeah.
like it just punches you. It's great.
We wrote that slam part for a friend. He played bass for us originally on like Old Speak and whatnot. And we wrote this slam part for him because he like loves slam, uh and like extreme music, and I do too. But he was just so into it at the time and almost like meme level worthy, you know? And so we were like, what if we put a slam part in there for Matt? Like, wouldn't that be funny?
And
And
That's cool.
it's seamless too. Like it fits everything perfectly. But it was just like, oh man,
yeah,
um, So yeah, that one was on my list. Obviously the Mechanist has that fucking iconic synth part in it. Uh, so where was the inspiration for that? That what do you recall? What type of plugins you were using for that?
For that, I'm trying to think. I remember using Absinthe a lot, which is like a contact one. Um, for that synth, I don't remember what I used. It could be, yeah, it could be so many things. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably a contact like stock one at the time. Most and really then I was just not using synths as much as I do now, but definitely using a lot of guitars and not making them sound like guitars, and that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of still what I do with guitars, I feel like, you know.
Maybe it was guitar in that part that I'm thinking of, but I love when the bass takes over the lead and before you guys come back fully, where they're doing the
Hmm.
and the bass just like takes over that repetition. It's like, oh man, that hits so perfectly when it all comes back together. So, yeah, and then also I just want to say, Lost in the Glare, amazing ambience throughout the whole track. You know, that's kind of your trademark, so I'm not surprised.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
dude.
was definitely me. I've always been like atmosphere first kind of
Mm-hmm.
person, like the vibe first before I write a riff or anything. It's always the background. It's always like the design or whatever, because I always feel like with bands that are gonna like heavily rely on that kind of stuff, um, that's kind of like your voice, I feel like. You know, that's like the building block for everything in my opinion. So I always start there and always get good results when I go that route.
Awesome, dude. Okay, well, moving forward from that release, what was next for you? I know that you've got quite a bit going on. You know, you continued to carry on with singles throughout the number of years with Our Common Collapse, but you
Hmm.
got quite of other things that a lot of people might not realize you're part of. So, what was your next foray after that?
Yeah. Um, so I would say after Nilhawk, obviously there was the pandemic. The band Our Common Collapse was working uh on a album at the time or another EP, but we wrote a bunch of songs. Um, had some lineup changes. That definitely threw off plans big time. We lost our vocalist from No Longer Human or Known. So we had all these songs that we didn't know what to do. You know, X amount of time passed during COVID, trying to figure out what to do with the band. And so we ended up, our vocalist or bass player at the time, Gage, ended up just being like, hey, let me try vocals one day. And we did a demo, and I was blown away. Like, he was just immediately so sick. Um, and I was just like, dude, let's go this route. And um, I think there, and let me backtrack. From there, we pretty much just did one song, which ended up being the Lonesome Tongues, and having that be like our kind of like comeback single in a way after the pandemic. No working with Buster on that one. And
Who
yeah, that
who did you have in your lineup at that point? I'm sorry, I just wanted to interject real quick.
yeah, at the time, really it was only me, Gage. We had, excuse me, Dakota Testa doing drums for us. So it was really just a three piece. And then from there, um, I guess I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself, but eventually met Carlos and Josh, who became just pretty much permanent members of the band and kind of gone forward since there, you know.
Love to hear it. Josh is from my neck of the woods. Got to see him early on cutting his teeth with his first band, Pressing Forward.
Yep.
Um, so and Terraform, obviously, we'll get to that too. But
Hmm.
dude, very exciting to see that that's how your lineup is rounded out. You've got a lot of heavy hitters, and yeah. Anyway, let's keep trucking from there. I was really excited that to see that. Yeah, that mix and master was phenomenal. It was done by Buster, but I love hearing your mixes too. So I'm not discrediting you by any means, but
Thank you.
yeah, dude. So what was next after the Lonesome Tongues for you guys?
Yeah. With the Lonesome Tongues, we wanted to do, I think we wanted to play the single game for a little bit. And not necessarily, I guess I will backtrack there too, but this OCC album that I've been working on. Um, I think made it, I've written an album probably 3 times for the band. So I have about like 3 albums worth of demos, and I've never been happy with any version of it, um, except the version that we have right now. So, um, through all this time, we've had singles, the release, try different styles, see what we like, what we want to do, um, and just like kind of stay consistent. Um, we were curious of like, what if we released an EP just as singles completely? Like, what would that do for the band? Just wanted to experiment. Um, so that ended up being our string of singles from Languish, Pale Impotent King, Weeping, Lonesome Tongues, Romantics. Um, so that ended up being that line of singles, was pretty much an EP that we put together. And we were just like, what if we released it, maybe with different mixes each time, see what we like, see where we can take the band and maybe build up a little bit of a following going into this record that we're working on, so
So they're all going to be towards one release single, or sorry, one album. All these singles will be on one album.
album's gonna be brand new songs.
Like that too.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Um, I did want to say, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on with each individual single. I want to say with Pale Impotent King, it's very cool to see Jeremy Shakrell being a part of your drum production. He,
Oh yeah.
in my opinion, has one of the best sounding drum games. So yeah, kudos to him if he's out there listening. We'd love to have him. Um, yeah, dude, that song specifically kind of embodies a lot of what I've felt from everything you released. That song has vibes from the Necro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, in my opinion, that is our common collapse. I mean, all of your songs are really cool, but that one is like, it hits the most home for me. And when I think about you guys, it's like, that's the one. So
Sweet. That's cool. That's cool to hear. That's kind of the point. I've heard it from so many different people, like what their favorite song is. And sorry, I'm adjusting something.
no, you could.
Um, I've heard from so many different people what their favorite song is, and it's always super interesting and what they like about the band. There's just like so many different things. So it's like cool to know that we can do whatever we want and people seem to enjoy what we do.
100%. We look forward to everything that you guys got going on. So
My favorite is definitely Weeping of the singles. I like that one. It captures a lot of the EP sound to me. Like, I don't know. I enjoy it.
that was on my list to talk about too. It's really, the groove in that one's real. I was watching the short video you released about all of the industrial programming that you did for it. Uh, that was one of the things I did want to talk about. Is like, so I ain't asking for the sauce, but like, what's some of the ingredients you got going on here for that one? Like, where
Yeah,
did all the production come from for that?
dude. Um, I would say that song is definitely uh a huge one for me with, you know, I wanted the band to be, and I still want this for the band, like I mentioned earlier, to be like a sound design like first band. Like it always starts with that, you know? Um, so with that song, I really wanted the sound design to be like a more important element than the actual band in a weird way. Like to me, with the mix and everything, it's more important for the sound design to just be like as loud as the band, or
Mm-hmm.
and it just to me the sauce is watching movies, to be honest. For me, I think I'm more interested in movies as of right now than I am music, which is cool. Like I watch a movie and I want to write music. I watch like a classic or something weird or I hear a soundtrack or something and I want to do music. So my approach has been for the last couple of years, if I do sound design on something, it's like, what kind of movie would this be, or if I just pick a movie and like what elements to put in there, you know, and I kind of sometimes do that subconsciously, or I do that on purpose when I'm trying to like work on a song more, you know.
Well,
So
doing a deep dive on you, I did see there was an IMDb page out there, and it was one of those things where it was like, nah, did he do any scoring for any movies? I was excited to see any of that, but
I did not know that.
whether you made it or not, it might not be legitimate. I was excited to see it, but I,
It's
I
cool.
think I think you got it, man. That'd be so cool to hear you score a movie, or even just like do production for a horror movie or some stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Have you ever seen Reanimator?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I'll send you the score for
Random.
Reanimator. That'll be dope.
Cool.
That's just a side
Cool.
thought. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah,
Cool.
dude, we love your production. So oh, I had a question, and you might not have an answer because I know how modern plugins go. Languish. What tuning are you guys in? It's super low.
Yeah. That song's in C sharp. To me, that's my favorite tuning. I think it
Mm-hmm.
comes from listening to so much Behemoth because their tune is C sharp. Obviously, that song's like an octave lower.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot
Double
of the
drop
time,
C sharp.
yeah, double drop C
Mm-hmm.
sharp. So a lot of the time, I like to use that tuning. Um, and we're even lower now, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, it's just funny. But C sharp's kind of like a favorite tuning of mine. I just hear it and it just like registers. I don't know what it does if it just vibrates my brain in the right way. I don't know. It's just funny.
Well, you get the clarity. That's why I was like, dude, I can't imagine like listening to newer reflection stuff is kind of in my mind the equivalent where it's like, what are we even in right now? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's just like drop Q, you know. Yeah. Anyway, uh,
Hmm.
so yeah, moving forward from that, let us know a little bit about your history with the Terraform guys. I think that was probably next in your journey, maybe.
Yeah, I would say that the Terraform thing kind of follows a little bit before uh like all the Archon and Collapse singles and the Lonesome Tongues, and probably around the same time as the Lonesome Tongues. But this was actually I was at home, or I'll backtrack from here. I've been a fan of Terraform for like a long time, since before like Nilhawk came out and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and probably around the time it came out, but I was just a huge fan of Terraform, and specifically the song Ego Death. I think
Mm-hmm.
Ego Death has one of the coolest riffs I've ever heard, and I still feel that to this day. Um, and I was just a big fan of Josh's guitar playing and Carlos and just that whole band. I was like, this is what I aspire to be, you know? Like they were like a huge inspiration for me.
Mm-hmm.
And finding out they're from the same, you know, scene as us and playing shows, I was like, those are the guys I want to be playing shows with. And I didn't even think about them being in my band. So, you know, I went and saw them at a couple shows and was just blown away. Like coolest thing I've ever heard at the time, you know? Um, and connected with those dudes, you know, went our separate ways again. And then a little bit of time passes. Um, and I'm just playing, I think I'm playing Halo Reach or something during the pandemic. Um, and I checked my phone and Carlos hit me up asking me if I wanted to be in Terraform. And I was like, wow, okay. And I didn't know how I felt about doing like two bands, like doing our Common Collapse or Terraform. So I've never done two at the same time, you know, like two different bands, like managing that and what that would be like. So I went up and met those dudes, got to know them even more, and was like, yeah, I want to do this, you know? And, you know, moved up to the cities from where I was living. I was living about an hour and a half away. So I just moved up to the cities there to be with my Our Common Collapse dudes and uh, Terraform, and, you know, do the thing, pursue playing shows and doing music and stuff. So, and from there we have a 3 song EP that's done. We're just waiting for the right time to release it and give it the right support and everything. But that 3 song EP is pretty amazing. So
That makes my heart extremely happy.
Yeah.
I was really sad when everything happened the way that with Terraform. after they released the full length because it was so good. Like
Yeah.
it's so good. So again, Josh out there, love you, buddy. You're awesome. Yeah, dude. That's all I gotta say. They're one of my favorite bands to ever, not even just like come from my area, but just in general. They really captured that essence of the time, and the mixes were huge on the second EP. They had some really cool features. They had the one with Cheney.
hmm
But yeah, I've known those dudes for years. Um, let's move forward a little bit here. Tell us a little bit about how everything came to be with Reflections.
Yeah, totally. Um, so with Reflections, basically with how that happened was at the time, um, this was after I think Willow came out and the Silhouette EP. Um, I think Josh and Jake connected and on doing songs and whatnot together. So Josh was doing a bunch of songwriting for them, wrote really cool songs. Excuse me. And so that connection was already made. They were doing a bunch of work together, working on really cool songs. And eventually, I got invited to just go hang out with them and meet up, listen to some of the songs and what other projects Jake was working on, too. Um, like Jake and Patty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then eventually down the line, there was the talks about a tour happening, um, and that they needed kind of a band to, you know, play the tour and make it happen because they were going through some lineup changes, you know, missing, missing a good chunk of the lineup to like make the live show happen, and Jake and Patty wanted to make that comeback happen. So they asked me if I wanted to play bass. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So it started as me playing bass, just playing live, kind of being like a fill-in. So I did that first tour, which was eventually that Veil Maya tour. And from there, obviously you tour with somebody, you get to know them pretty well. And I got to know all the Reflections dudes and get pretty tight with them and uh, started helping with songs on the new record we're working on. And yeah, I've contributed pretty cool ideas and whatnot, and very proud of like the record that we're almost done with. We're still working on it, but hopefully looking for a release next year. So yeah, it's kind of that story.
That's very exciting. I understand
Oh
like
yeah.
what you're talking about with Terraform, but that's also kind of like the next level in terms of like being a part of like another crucial band for the style that you're a part of. Uh,
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, dude. Not gonna lie, that's got to be insane. Were you a part of any of the aspects of I'm sorry, Scapegoat? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Scapegoat, I just put like that song was pretty much already done um by the time like I got in the picture. And so I just put like a couple like impacts and little glitches
Hmm.
and very minor things, like maybe like 5% of the total thing. I had a very like small thing to contribute with that, but got a couple things on there. So
What was the name of it escapes me right now because I should know this. What was the name of the guy who mixed and mastered that track for you guys?
Simone Pietroforte.
That's right, and he's
Yeah,
killing it.
that's the dude.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the dude.
The guitar tone is insane on that track, so I'm really
Yeah,
excited for future material for that.
it's so crazy. The chain, you can see like nail the mix clips of it, but it's like three guitar amps blended together and like phased aligned, and yeah, it's quite a tone. It's so cool.
It's very unique. Yeah. Do you have a favorite track that you play with Reflections live?
Favorite track. I would say my favorite track to play live. I always love playing From Nothing. That's just such a fast groove song. Like when we would open with that, it was just so cool. I really love playing the Silhouette songs are really cool. Skato Noir. Those songs are so fun to play. Um, but yeah, I would probably say From Nothing.
Very cool. Logan, did you have anything more for the reflections chapter?
I did not know. Nope.
Cool. Well, let's move forward a little bit more. Let's talk about Catsclaw a little bit because that's really exciting too.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that story's cool with that too. Of Catsclaw that kind of started with um of James, the main guy in Catsclaw. Obviously, he was in a band prior, called
Superior.
Superior,
Mm-hmm.
and Superior, like obviously you knew right away. A lot of people in the Midwest know Superior being like gent legends. They were gent legends for like Josh, like a big inspiration for him. Um, and I was actually pretty late to the Superior game because they were already pretty much broken up by the time I was getting into playing shows and releasing music. But again, like my good friend Randy Edwards and
Mm-hmm.
uh, Carlos was in that band for a record too. So I kind of knew James, like friend to friend. We game sometimes. At the time, we would game, in Discord. He'd be in there, and we he reached out to me originally about writing the first EP. Um, and at the time, I just couldn't like make it work, or like get a schedule going to where I could do that. Um, so I kind of sent him off to have the guitar player Viljarda do it because he was doing a bunch of songwriting at the time. So
Calais?
he Calais, yep.
Yep.
So he did the first EP, which is super sick. And James came back to me with that EP and was like, "Hey, do you want to add some like production, synths or FX to it?" And I was like, "Sure, I would love to do that." We did that, and then from there, with that release, like kind of popping off and doing cool things, we wanted to do some more stuff in the future. And the guitar player Viljarda Calais, had to like shift his focus on getting that latest Philjarda album done. He was working on that at the time, so he couldn't really like write a lot of music for Cat's Claw. So I kind of just offered to be like, "Hey, I'll work on some tunes for you, you know." And from there, we over the last 2 years like wrote that album that just came out, and yeah, it's just so cool to see how well it's doing too, and kind of be a little hands off with that and just, just only focusing on writing. And we would do Discord sessions and whatnot and go from there. And yeah, it was just really cool. And that's kind of how that came to be. It's like a internet project in a way. I've only hung out with James in person twice,
Mm-hmm.
and we just did internet projects, working in Discord, sending files back and forth and etc. I gotta
Well,
plug
it's
my
very
phone
cool
in
to
real
see
quick. It's
how
almost dead. All right, it's working, so I'll leave it for now. Okay.
hands off. Cool.
Apologize. Hands
No,
off. I'm not
you're
touching it. Cool.
no, you're good. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. So yeah, it was really cool to see how the internet project came together for Cat's Claw. Given the fact that you guys aren't directly, to each other, bouncing ideas back and forth is
Hmm.
not easy, especially in a project as complex as this one. Um, hang on, I can't read my notes far enough. Um, the old way is probably my favorite. It's got that really cool disco beat at the beginning that just captures the essence of the whole track from the beginning. I
Yeah.
can't help but smile from ear to ear when that one starts. That one's really good.
Yeah, I love that song. With Cat's Claw, we've been really wanting to write like super fun songs,
Mm-hmm.
like almost dance track, almost like groove. Like I remember being really inspired again, like you disco music. I wanted to um write like a disco Thall industrial thing, kind of Rob Zombie, kind of disco, you know, kind of metalcore, kind of doing
Mm-hmm.
all these other things. We also we had Mitch from Silent Planet, the main dude, do a bunch of production, lay down a bunch of synths. So it was cool for me to like uh have someone do what I usually do for bands, do it to my song, and then, take his files and get creative with it. And yeah, it's just, excuse me, such a fun collaborative process for that song.
Did you have a favorite track off of that album?
Yeah, I think Gaspar, um, Lesser Sun, or The Shield, like those three are always like my favorite to listen to. Gaspar was a Terraform song originally, um, which is like a fun fact, I guess, with that. It was like originally a Terraform song, but with like Terraform kind of got put on a hiatus for a little bit. Um, and which Terraform will come back when the time is right. And like Terraform's still a thing. I want to clarify that. Um, but that song was like it's just such a good song, Gaspar. I was just so inspired by it. And I was so bummed. I was like, oh, the song may never see the light of day. So when we were working on the Catsclaw album, was I was like, James, what do you think of this song? Sent it to him. Thought it was so sick. And we had a bunch of ideas we wanted to do with it, but I knew it was like it's a Terraform song. I'm that kind of person. I had to ask. I was like, Josh, are we cool? Are you cool if I use this for Cat's Claw? And he's like, dude, you're good. Use it. That's kind of how that song came to be. So
Hopefully he
That's
doesn't
pretty
regret it
cool.
now because that song bangs.
no, he's cool with it. And we got other really sick Terraform songs too. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Logan, you got anything else for the Catsclaw album, my friend?
Just Become the Blade. That's the song that stood out to me. I got to listen to the album a couple times and I enjoyed that one a lot. It
Cool.
just
Yeah, I really
it
I
had
really like that song.
the way the chorus parts come in and stuff. I think it's really neat.
Yeah, it's like that song. It's just so hard to like describe that song or like many of these songs to people. I think was the cool thing about the Cat's Claw album. It's like very much so like a Thall record, I guess, and like metalcore. Like it's that fusion, you for sure. But I feel like there's no band out there that sounds like Cat's Claw and has that array of influences and is just like so heavy. Like I truly feel um like with Our Comic Collapse and Cat's Claw, we're just able to do. I mean, all my bands really, if even with Reflections, like we're able to cover so much ground, and do so many different things, which is super important for me for each band. Like, that's just the will, like the willingness to experiment and do different things, and I guess I don't know, try something different.
The genre
Hell
bending
yeah.
is totally real in all of your projects, so that's what we're here
Yeah,
for. Yeah.
there's a theme.
Okay. Well, I had one last thing I wanted to touch on, and then we can circle around everybody. But seeing either breather coming back and seeing that you guys are playing, that's very exciting. Do you have any additional insight for us? I saw that the drummer for Still Stayer is playing drums for them, and the bass player for Errors of Humanity is playing bass for them. You got any additional insight for us? You're not in that band, are you?
No, not either breather. Yeah, nope. Um, yeah, we're just got offered a cool show for OCC, and we wanted to do that. Yeah, right now, as of yesterday, can't announce and can't really talk about it, but there's some really cool stuff happening for the OCC camp. And I'm so excited. I wish I could tell people about it and whatnot, but um, yeah, I think we're gearing up for a really big run for OCC as in like a series of events, and everything. There's just a lot of cool stuff happening. Working on an album. Um, we have a van. We're you know possible tours and stuff. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening. So
Come to Des
mm,
Moines, please. We miss you.
absolutely, I want
Yeah.
to.
Cool, cool. All right. Well, that's very exciting. Logan, do you have any additional questions for our guest here?
I just had one. Just kind of put you on the spot, I guess. If you, so all your projects that you've made the music or helped write or wrote, what is your like one standout track that's like your favorite track you've ever wrote? If you had to pick one.
Favorite track I ever wrote. It would definitely be. Oh man, it would be an unreleased one for sure. Yeah, I think about that song like every day and like all the time, to be honest. So it would have to be a song off the new album for OCC. But if I'm picking a current one, I'm definitely super proud of Weeping. And that's like a underperforming song in standard in comparison to all of them. But uh, that song to me just like captures so much of what I'm about with just like my work is, putting heavy care into like the production side of things and like, the inspiration from movies and the amount of design and um just like the effort. That's like also the first collaborative song for our Common Collapse too that we worked on as like a whole band. Everyone contributing ideas and uh it truly feels like a band experience with that, which is so cool. Because a lot of times it's just one guy doing a lot of the heavy lifting, which is cool. And some songs are like that, but Weeping is just it's like a powerhouse of everyone coming together and just popping off on a song. So
It's
Oh
more
yeah,
of an
that's
experience in
cool.
that track, in my opinion. It's kind of you ride the wave through the whole thing. Like you said, if you feel
Hmm.
like you're underperforming in terms of musicianship, the song just has that vibe the whole time. So that one's a classic for me too. So well, we're coming on to that time here, gentlemen. I want to give Elliot anything you want to talk about, my friend. This is your time. Anything you want to plug that you got going on if you haven't already. You got any questions for us? We'd love it. So whatever you got, my friend.
cool. Yeah. I'll just say thanks for supporting what I do and uh, keep watching movies and doing sound design, and uh, I would say just care about your music, um, and keep listening to OCC. So,
You can't stop us. So, well, all right. Well, I did want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us. Elliot, it's been a pleasure, my friend. Everybody keep an eye on his goings and comings and goings for our Common Collapse and anything he's a part of. Look out for the newest Jordan Peele movie that he's going to be scoring here soon. He's going to rock your socks off. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us,
awesome.
our friend. It's been another
Yeah,
exciting episode
thank
of the
you.
Just Noise podcast. And everybody have a good night. Peace out.
Peace.